Hi, it's Amanda from Story and Stone here. Welcome to my October reading for the collective. I hope you've all had a great September and looking forward to October. I've already laid out the spread and it's looking all right. Not too many major changes coming through. Pretty mundane type of month coming up for us. Which I'll explain as we go along. Now, just before we start, I want to say, first of all, welcome if you're a new viewer. If you're a returning viewer, then thank you very much for coming back to watch. And that this reading is a general reading. It is read for a lot of people, so it may not necessarily resonate with you. And that's okay. Just turn the video off and go on with your day. If it does resonate with you, I'd love to hear your comments and your feedback and your experiences with it. And they can be put in the comment box, either in the YouTube channel, if that's where you're watching, or in the Facebook page. Okay, so today I'm using the Wheel of the Year cards. It's a tarot deck, very whimsical. Really pretty artwork. It's quite a new deck to me. It's actually my personal deck that I'm using because I am filming from home, as you can see. And I'll be also asking about what messages the universe has for us, what extra messages it has for us with the Messenger Oracle by Ravynne Phelan, who I think is Australian, actually. Beautiful, beautiful artwork. Just to go back to the Wheel of the Year Tarot, it is by Maria Carratti and artwork by Antonella Platano. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, the first position in the layout is the overview for the month of October. And the cards that I've drawn were the King of Swords and the Three of Wands. Okay. So often the court cards can represent people in your life. So as I'm explaining these things, if you straight away think of someone, then they're most probably going to have something to do with that part of the spread. Otherwise, they could be talking about traits and behaviors and skills that you may need to get you through this month. So the King of Swords, he's quite a He definitely thinks with his head and not his heart. He's can be a bit authoritarian, but he's very intellectual. He's very motivated to pursue his ideas he makes a really good leader in some ways because he is very focused on the end outcome. And he likes to plan. So to me, I'm getting that this card is telling you that this is a month where you might need to plan or be a bit more organized with your time and your resources. Now, the Three of Wands is a really positive card. On a mundane level, it could signify that you're going to travel. But on a higher level, it talks about new opportunities coming in. Often the traditional tarot will show you a man standing at the shore looking at some ships out in the sea. And it basically talks about waiting for your ship to come in. However, you get to choose what ship or what opportunity comes in and you take advantage of. So this is a really, really positive card. And as you can see in the actual card that I've got here, there's a shooting star going through the sky. And we all know you have to make a wish on a shooting star. And you would definitely know that if you've ever played Animal Crossing. And it's just a really positive card. You've got the fireflies and the little faithful friend sitting beside her as she watches the night sky and the moon shining up there with all the stars. So this is a really positive card, and it talks about success. It talks about having lots of choice and just enjoying the successes that you've made so far. So the overview for this month could be that you're going to get some opportunities that you get to choose which opportunity you want to take advantage of. But the best thing you can do for yourself this month is to be organized and plan out. Don't just do things off the cuff, because they're most probably not going to be as successful as if you've planned out your month and what you want to do. So when we go into the detail of this month, the cards that I've drawn were the Two of Pentacles. It's really not focusing on these cards, is it? And the Hierophant, which is a major Arcana card. Now, because I've got this in my hand, I'll talk about this first. The Hierophant represents traditional, it can represent institutions or being institutionalized. It can represent things like governments and churches and religions and things like that. It often talks about having to toe the line. So sometimes we have to do it the traditional way to get to where we want to go so that we can do what we want to do, even if that's not our choice of how we would like to do it. And that's the feeling that I'm getting today. So this is saying, hey, you're going to have some opportunities, but don't do anything too way out, because you're going to need, you'll get more success if you do it the traditional way. If you toe the line, if you fit in with the masses, you're going to get more response basically and more success. So that's what this is telling me. Some people also, actually, just thinking about that, some people also think this represents spirituality. It doesn't represent that for me, but some people do. So if that resonates with you, this can also represent your spiritual journey. Excuse me. Okay, so the Two of Pentacles. Pentacles are about, excuse me. Pentacles are about our careers, our homes, our health, work, money, finances, all that sort of stuff, leaving a legacy behind, financial legacy usually. And the Two of Pentacles is all about balance, finding that balance in your life. And that's most probably going to be quite important for you this month, because if you've got a few opportunities to pick from, you might devote all your time to picking that opportunity or starting to implement ideas and actions for that opportunity. And you might let other stuff fall to the wayside, like family commitments, friendships, health, like exercise and spiritual practice, that type of thing. So this card is just reminding you that even though you have these opportunities these months, it's really important that you keep your balance to have a really good and successful month. And I think that also relates to the Hierophant that we just talked about, because the Hierophant is very traditional. It's very institutionalized. So the balance card, like if you're someone like me who's not quite, you're not very traditional in some aspects, what this is saying is that even though you may have to be perceived as being traditional and towing the line and doing what's expected, remember to just keep that balance, that keep your truth, within your lifestyle, because the Hierophant energy is only going to last for a short while. It's just to get you to where you want to go. So when we go and we look at the challenges, we have another 2 court cards. We've got 4 court cards in this spread, and 2 of them are in the challenges section. So we've got the Queen of Swords, and her little partner was at the beginning in the overview. And then we've also got the King of Wands, who's much more amiable person than the King of Swords. So these are your challenges. So the challenge with the Queen of Swords is that she doesn't like to let her feelings show. She's very dry and very serious. She's not I would see that she would not be the person that you would have a joke with around the water cooler on a Monday morning type thing. She very much thinks with her head, not her heart. She can be very loyal. She's great to have on your side. But if you betray her, or if you do something that doesn't meet her standards, then she will just wipe you. A couple of the queens will actually do that. I find their energy will do that. But the Queen of Swords in particular will definitely wipe you if you betray her or do something that she just thinks is intolerable. And unfortunately, sometimes she can find a lot of things intolerable because she expects so high standards of herself. She often expects that of the people around her. So if this is representing someone in your life, know that there may be a few challenges and conflicts with that person in your life this month, because they're going to be going, oi, that's not the standard that we meet here. You need to step up and meet my standard, basically. If it's not a person in your life, then this is just saying, just beware that you're not, what's the word I'm looking for? You're not stepping over people on your way to get to where you want to go. Okay? Now, saying that, the Queen of Swords is not really that person who does that, but she's very focused, like the King of Swords. She's very focused. She's a good leader, but she can be quite authoritarian as well. And she very rarely puts emotion into her plans and her outcomes. So the challenge for you this month is, if this doesn't resonate with you as a person in your life, this is warning you. Make sure you bring a bit of heart into the decisions that you make, especially when you're dealing with other people. So that could be your challenge this month if she doesn't resonate as a person in your life. Now, the King of Wands, on the other hand, the Wands are all about passion, motivation, spirituality, and the King of Wands has that done. He's got it made. He knows how to walk the walk and talk the talk. He's quite happy to socialize and do the schmoozing type thing to get what he needs to get, or what he wants to get the goals and the outcomes that he's got planned. But he's a really good guy. People look up to him. He makes a really good leader, as do all of the kings in their own way. He can be a little bit over enthusiastic, and sometimes forget that people haven't caught up to him yet. That can be one of his downfalls, but basically he's a really good guy. And if you need a bit of a kick up the butt or some motivation, then this is your guy that you come to. So if you have someone in your life that relates to all those things that I've just spoken about, then you may find him a bit challenging this month. Maybe he's off on his next adventure or his next passion project, and you need him to just slow down a bit, or her. They can represent any gender. You may need them just to slow down a little bit and just wait for you, or to do something else before they go off on their next adventure. If there is not a person in your life that relates to this King of Wands, then this is just saying to you, if you pick an opportunity to do that's really lights your fire, just remember that the people around you are not necessarily as enthusiastic about it as you are. And just have a bit of diplomacy, a bit of tact, and when you're dealing with those people, and just make sure that you're including them if that's what needs to be done, or that you're not neglecting them for your passion project, basically, because the King of Wands can sometimes, when he's working in his shadow, be a bit neglectful of the people around him because he's just so passionate about what he's working on. So that may be your challenge for this month as well. Okay, so now we come to the last position in this spread, which is the opportunities that are being provided for us for October. And we have another major counter card, Judgment card. And we have the Queen of Wands, our fourth court card. So it's quite funny. We've got the King of Swords and the Queen of Swords, and the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So we'll deal with the Queen of Wands first. She's very motherly. She's not like the Queen of Swords at all. She's very much in touch with her intuition. She can be quite spiritual. She follows her passion. She's willing to speak her truth, even if it doesn't make her popular. But she's loving and kind and generous. And she's really, lots of people look up to her. She's really, really got it going on. She's very spiritual, as I said, but she's also very creative. Not just creative as in working with art and all that sort of stuff, but she's very creative in her ability to manifest what she wants into her life, to create her physical reality, as is the King of Wands. So the opportunity here is, if there is a woman that that resonates with this type of personality, then obviously they are someone that you can go to who can help you move forward with the projects or the opportunities that you're looking at for this month. If you don't have someone in your life who resonates with that personality, then this is telling you, use your intuition when you're making decisions. Be creative, but be loving and generous. Like, be the epitome of the Queen of Wands to get to where you want to go. That is your opportunity to show that side of yourself, especially if you have been the Queen of Swords. They're very different, you know. They've both got great assets, but the Queen of Swords is not the loving, motherly type at all, whereas the Queen of Wands definitely is one of those motherly types. Maybe not like the Queen of Cups. She's what I would class as a mother figure. But this Queen of Wands, she's very caring. She cares about lots of people, but she's very creative and motivated to do what she needs to do, to speak her truth and not be afraid to go down the road less traveled. So that's your opportunity for this month for that. Now, the Judgment card is a major arcana card, and the Judgment card means a couple of things. It is about our spiritual journey. So there might be an opportunity for you to go back and reflect and review on how far you've come since January this year, in your spiritual practice, in your spiritual journey. See where you've been fulfilled and satisfied within the practice that you're doing, or where you could actually make changes to get better results for yourself. The Judgment card is also about judgment. So maybe this is your opportunity to look and see, have you been a bit judgmental with others around you or with yourself? And take the time to reflect on what you've done and either apologize, forgive yourself for being the way you are, and apologize if it's to do with other people for being so judgmental, because, you know, none of us should be throwing stones. We all live in glass houses ultimately. But yeah, she's really about reflection and looking back over our journey so far. I really resonate with this card more about the spiritual journey and this spiritual awakening that she represents, rather than the judgment side of it, because I feel like I mean, if you just look at that card, she's got the light of God apparently shining down on her. It's winter, but she's barefoot and she's dropping her coat, you know, because she doesn't feel the cold. But it's actually quite a beautiful, breathtaking scene with the stars in the background and all that blue and the little flowers popping up through the snow. So it's basically saying, this card represents your spiritual awakening. So it could be an opportunity for you to level up in your spiritual practice. And to do that, you may need to reflect on what has happened beforehand. So there's some great opportunities there for you. So that's it for the main reading. Okay, so we're going to look now at the messages that the universe has for us, if they have any more guidance for us. These cards are sticking together. Okay, what messages does the universe have for us to go with our October reading? What messages does the universe have for us to go with our October reading? Okay, so looking at these three beautifully illustrated cards, I'm seeing a real connection there between the Judgment card that we just discussed and the cards that I've just drawn. So we'll look at the first one, And it's number, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, 2, be patient. So I will read from the guidebook as well as give you what's coming through for me. And this is talking about rather than worrying about getting to the destination, to actually enjoy the journey. So be patient with yourself, be patient with others. Not everything is a race, you know. Sometimes, well, actually all the time, the only person we are in competition with is ourselves. That's all. We're not in competition with anybody else. It doesn't matter what anybody else is doing. And this card is really reiterating that to me, that we just need to be patient with ourselves. You know, we may think that we need to be further ahead on our journey or further ahead in our projects or whatever it is. I feel like this is a spiritual thing. But we just need to say, you know, it's okay that we are where we are, because where we are is exactly where we're supposed to be. The universe never ever gets it wrong. So I'll just have a look at the guidebook for you. Okay, so now is not the time to act. Now is a time to show self-restraint, to be patient and wait. Do not let your desire for an outcome or resolution result in one that is not to your liking because you forced it to manifest before it was time. Trust that all will be as it is meant to be, when it is meant to be. Be still. Let go of all frustration and impatience, and remember that good things come to those who wait. So as you can see, it's sort of reiterating what I was talking about. And I definitely feel like maybe it's also telling me that the opportunities that are coming through for you this month, they might be of the spiritual ilk, but even if they're not of that, that maybe there's October is not the time to actually go like get into actions, but maybe it's more of time to plan, because you've got the 3 of Wands here and you've got the King of Swords, who is the master planner. So maybe it's telling you it's okay if you don't take any actions in October, but just get your plans, gather your tools and your resources so that when you get the feeling that it's time to go, you've got everything. You're not running around and chasing your ass, basically. Okay, the next card I've drawn is Honor Gaia. I wish this would focus better because it's just they're just so beautifully illustrated. I've had these cards for years and I just love them. Every time I do a cull, they always end up staying. So this is telling me it's not just being environmentally friendly, but it is especially pushing through to me about we are a part of Gaia. Okay, we're not separate. And I think I've spoken about this before. We are not separate. We are part of the system. We are not the master. We are just part of it. Everything is equal. Everything is sentient. So we need to honor Gaia. And that means being kind to the environment, being environmentally friendly, recycling, reusing, you know, all those things that we have to do. I don't have to go through it. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But it's also talking about getting out there and connecting with nature. Go outside, put your bare feet on the ground and connect to the earth. Connect to the energy of Gaia. Feel it revive you, feel it refresh you, feel it heal you. It's just so important for us to stay connected, because that's why we're like we are, because we don't connect with it. We all live in concrete jungles, or a lot of us live in concrete jungles. And we never ever take our shoes off and just step on the grass. Never ever. I mean, I live in the country and I never have my shoes off outside because, well, snake season has just started. But I should be taking my shoes off more and just walking around barefoot. But, you know, I don't want to die of a snake bite either. So pick your times. If you live in the city, go to a park, find your favorite park and walk around in bare feet. This is all about your connection to Gaia. And when we connect to Gaia, you automatically don't want to do things that you know are going to harm the environment, because they ultimately harm us. Okay, so I'll just read what the guidebook says. The earth upon which you dwell is more than just a rock covered in water, stone, and dirt. The earth beneath your feet, the mountains, the forests, the rivers, lakes, oceans, and the air that you breathe are all part of the magical living entity that is Gaia. She is our eternal mother, our provider, and our home. Gaia gives us life. Without her, we would not be. Honor Gaia by seeing the truth of what she is. Honor Gaia by loving her as you love yourself. So that's a very pertinent excuse me, card. So basically, part of our spiritual journey actually is connecting with Gaia, because that is spirituality. If you've read some of my latest blogs, I talk about the easiest way to connect to spirit is to just go out in nature. It's so easy to do. And especially for time poor people, you can do it in your lunch break. Go to that park near your office and go and sit there and just be. Turn your bloody devices off and take your AirPods out and just listen to what's going on around you. I tell you what, sometimes you hear the most interesting conversations. But apart from that, you hear animal life, you hear the leaves rustling in the breeze, you can hear traffic if you're in the city. It's just amazing to just close your eyes and use your other senses to really connect to nature. Okay, I'm going to stop babbling on about that. So the last card I've pulled from this deck is Embrace Spirit. Isn't he beautiful? I actually saw a real eagle the other day. I went to the Royal Show with my nieces and nephews, and in the animal nursery they had, oh my God, all these beautiful owls. They were just so cute. They were just so beautiful. And then they had a couple of kestrels, but then they had an eagle, and she was just absolutely magnificent. She was just, I don't know, I was in awe of her, and my niece couldn't stop going, woo, birdie, woo, because she actually has a picture book here at my house that has an eagle in it, and it was just absolutely lovely, and it just makes you really appreciate nature and life. So this one is talking about embracing spirit. Okay. So when I ask for messages on this, they give me an outlook of actually looking through the eyes of an eagle and flying high above and seeing the ground below. And what that usually denotes to me is that they want me to tell you to step back, take a look at the bigger picture, see all that is, basically. And that's what spirit does. Spirit, your spirit that I talk about as in source or higher consciousness, they can see the bigger picture. So when you really, really want something, and it's not happening for you, it could be because spirit, whether that's your intuition or higher consciousness, can see the bigger picture and know that there's something even better for you. That's why we need to surrender the things that we want. We need to work towards them, of course, but then surrender and take note of the messages and the guidance that we get so that we can stay on the right path. So this is all about embracing spirit. And I feel like this is really connected to the Judgment card, about your spiritual awakening, about embracing the fact that we are spiritual beings having a physical experience, not the other way around. I'm going to say that again. Spiritual beings, that's what we are, having a human experience. So you're not going to dodge the spiritual bullet, because that's what we are. That's what you're here for, to learn and move forward on your spiritual journey. So you just need to get on board. Okay, let me read what the guidebook says. Oh, look at this. You are a spiritual being living in a physical life. Embrace spirit in your journey and reaffirm your connection with the divine. Fly to the heavens, but remember to look down and see that the divine exists in the magical natural world beneath you. Spirit dwells within all, in everything you see and know, and everything that you do not see and which is unknown. Both the creative and the destructive, the beautiful and the ugly are born of the divine. Well, blow me over. How can you ignore that message? I told you it. The guidebook told you it. So we really need to kick that spiritual being's butt and say, come on, let's get going. Because being in this physical body is wonderful. Every time I hug my niece, I love it. Melts my heart. But you know why my heart melts? Because my spiritual being can feel that, is feeling the emotion, is feeling the connection. And if you haven't started your spiritual journey yet, even though, if you've been watching since January and you still haven't started, what the F are you doing? Get moving. If you need help, contact me. I will give you some tips. Go back through my blogs. They will have some tips. But definitely start it. Okay, so that is it for October. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like or follow my business page, which is Story and Stone. Or if you're on my YouTube channel, please like and subscribe. You can find out more information about what I do as a holistic practitioner on my website, which is www.storyandstone.com.au. So that's it for today. Have a great month, a great October. And I will be back in the next video. See you soon.